The children of Palestine, the innocents lost under occupation. In the past 11 years alone, around 7,500 children, some as young as the age of 12, are estimated to have been detained, interrogated and imprisoned by the Israeli occupational authorities. Palestinian children wake up each morning to a conflict they cannot comprehend, to oppression no one could deserve. Their childhood has been strangled by the occupation, by the soldiers, guns, checkpoints and the incarcerations that is their daily experience.
The Israeli soldiers came to my house at 2 a.m. They surrounded the house. They arrested me.
They came and took me and searched the house and left.
My name is Jihad Afane. I am 18 years old and I was arrested when I was 16 for 18 months.
My name is Mohammad Abdullah Lafi. I am 20 years old. I was 18 when they arrested me from my house.
We have a problem with the way they are arresting children. This happens between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. They search the house, force the family and child outside. They handcuff the child and put a mask on his face. And this affects the children's psychological state during the arrest.
Peace be with you. I am the mother of the prisoner Walid Sharaf. Walid was arrested on the 3rd of June 2010 when he was 17 and a half years old. He is now 19. When they arrested him, they asked for his ID. They refused to let his father escort him, knowing that he was a little child. We were told nothing.
Hours later, the children find themselves alone, sleep-deprived, bruised and scared in interrogation rooms.
They took me to the interrogation room. None of my family members were there.
They put psychological pressure on me and beat me. I was very scared and didn't know what will happen.
They take the child to the interrogation center without telling him his rights. For example, the child has the right not to answer any questions without a lawyer or his family present. The first thing they tell him is, now we will beat you, now we will break your bones, we will arrest your family, and we will beat your family in front of you. You must confess.
The child being denied access to a lawyer is significant because third-party scrutiny of the methods of interrogation can be an effective measure to limit the use of torture, ill treatment and other coercive techniques during questioning. This is rare footage of a 14-year-old being questioned for over 5 hours following arrest during the middle of the night. He is accused of throwing stones.
The moment they arrest the child, they immediately take him to the interrogation room and start questioning him. For example, the child was arrested at 1 a.m. He was interrogated from the hour of his arrest until 5 a.m. At 5 a.m., after they finish interrogating him, they force the child to sign a confession paper. This is written by the Israeli governor in Hebrew and sometimes also in Arabic, but the Hebrew version is completely different from the Arabic. They force the child to sign this paper without knowing what is written in it. If the child refuses to sign this paper, the child is handed over to Israeli officers and they use such threats as stated before. Now we will beat you, we will break your bones. They threaten to release dogs on them or say that they will make the dogs eat the child if he doesn't sign.
Although many children maintain their innocence, in the end at least 90% will plead guilty, as this is the quickest way out of a system that denies children bail in 87% of cases.
The evidence that is used against the children during the trial is extracted from the child by force and by threats. The Israeli courts allow these procedures.
They took me to Ofer prison, and when I asked the lawyer, he said that the charged were throwing stones and Molotov.
Walid was arrested on the 6th of December 2010. He has never let others feel that he's weak or sad or in need of anything.
We don't deserve it. We haven't done anything, and this is not fair.
Parents and families are not allowed to visit any of the arrested children unless the Israeli government makes an appointment.
Family visits are a rare privilege due to travel restrictions on the Palestinian population and frequent detention within Israeli military bases or settlements.
My first visit was on the 27th February 2011, and I was very happy to see him. He never showed me that he's feeling sick or having any trouble. He always showed me that he is in perfect shape.
When they take us to the family visitation room, we cannot talk to our families directly. One through the glass and the phones, which are not clear. They record everything that is said because they will later listen to the conversation.
There were no means of communication with my family from prison. I was exempt from family visits for the first 3 months.
When we got sick, we did not get proper treatment. They always gave us a yellow pill, which is only for headaches, and told us that we will be okay.
One of the hardest moments of my life was when I was put in jail and I started to think about my fate.
I would say that him being arrested affected all our psychological state. His father started to get careless about his work. His little brother, who used to sleep with him in the same room, started to have had dreams about how the Israeli soldiers threatened him with weapons.
Very limited provisions are made for the education of Palestinian child detainees. Palestinian child detainees are taught according to the Israeli Arab curriculum instead of the official curriculum adopted by the Palestinian Ministry of Education. This has obvious negative consequences on a child detainee's performance in school after he or she is released from prison.
They didn't allow us an education. They didn't give us the rights of an education that under 18s should get. They used to treat us like adults. Each and every country in the world acknowledged the rights of a child, but the Israelis deny those rights.
Walid used to love school, and he was one of the best students.
As of 1st of June 2012, there are approximately 192 Palestinian children detained in 2 Israeli prisons and detention centres, including Ofer and Megiddo. Out of these, at least 39 were under the age of 16. International law and treaties regarding children forbid denying children of their freedom and forbid torturing and violating them.
I was put in prison as a child, released as an adult.
Everything here contradicts the rights of child protection in the world. There are many organizations that have addressed this issue, and there are also human rights organizations in Israel that worked on this. They produce reports and submit them to the United Nations, the United States, even the European Union, to put pressure on Israel to change its treatment of the Palestinian children.
Countless UN agencies have found the treatment of Palestinian child prisoners to be contrary to international law. The Committee on Torture, the Committee on Rights of a Child, and the Committee for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination have all condemned Israeli treatment. Countless human rights studies have been conducted and reports have been published by NGOs also condemning Israeli treatment of child prisoners. However, the leaders of the Western world do not have the political will to change it and specifically do nothing about it.
We do everything we can, but in the end the Israeli judge is the one who decides. Of course, the Israeli judge is a military one. He is not even a judge. He is an Israeli soldier. There is no equality between us and other children in the world. There are many official international organizations that just utter statements about standing beside Palestine. No countries try to work to help the Palestinian child, or at least treat him like a normal kid, the same as other children in the world.
Why do the leaders of the Western world and international human rights groups not intervene and put pressure on Israel in order to oblige Israel to comply with international law and the Fourth Geneva Convention?
There are almost 300 Palestinian children in Israeli prisons between the ages of 13 and 18. When I saw them, I felt that they are just children. What they are doing here. And even during the interrogation, they didn't remove the blindfold of their eyes. They started to say, "You threw stones." No, I didn't throw stones. The interrogators beat them on the chest, the stomach, and the legs. The children say that we didn't throw stones. We didn't do anything. Why are you doing this? But the interrogators beat them. And of course, every child is interrogated by himself, alone. While in prison, the child gets a break after 23 hours of being in a cell to play or to walk. There are no entertainment tools, no basketball, no football, or even a book to read, no education for them. There have been 12-year-old children in prisons before. I remember. There was a lawyer that gave a child a balloon to play with in the court. The child needs to play, not to go to prison.
Denying children a normal childhood, separating children from their families, abusing and torturing young children in prison leads to severe trauma and resentment.
Whenever I see an IDF car, I look at them holding a grudge because they beat me.
Is the military might of Israel really threatened by children throwing stones? Or is this systematic targeting of boys and young men because they are the next generation of Palestinians that Israel wishes to break down and control? Targeting children shows their parents and elders as powerless. It proves that Israel is able to command all control over their freedom, and it deprives them of a psychologically and physically safe environment, causing them developmental damage. Trauma and no education deprive them of the chance for a bright future. Palestinian children in Israeli prisons will not be able to build a nation that is prosperous and socially united. Israel not complying with international law ensures that this practice of arresting and detaining children can continue whilst it enjoys a positive relationship with the EU, where the International Court of Human Rights and International Court of Justice are, and the Geneva Convention were drafted. This shows how the bodies of these Palestinian children are considered less important than those of other children.